Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. Today, we are decoding what is absolutely the ultimate heartbeat of the global economy, and that is unemployment. We hear about it on the news constantly, right? But understanding exactly how it works is honestly the key to unlocking how the entire financial world ticks.
To kick things off, I want you to picture something for a second. Imagine two totally contrasting countries. Country A is absolutely booming. Modern cities, growing businesses, just fantastic economic growth. But country B is struggling. We're talking fewer opportunities, businesses closing their doors, and rising layoffs. If you wanted to quickly compare the real health of these two economies, what's the very first thing you'd look at?
Well, most people's minds go straight to things like GDP, inflation, or maybe consumer spending. And sure, economists definitely track all of those things. But the true answer, the absolute best indicator of economic health, actually lies in employment. Why? Because it literally connects everything else together. It's the engine. To genuinely wrap our heads around this, here's our roadmap for today. We'll be walking through 1. The economy's ultimate heartbeat. 2. Who is actually unemployed. 3. The 4 types of unemployment. 4. The true cost of joblessness. 5. The zero unemployment myth. And 6. How governments actually try to fix it.
All right, let's dive right into part 1, the economy's ultimate heartbeat and how jobs connect absolutely everything.
So employment sits at the dead center of our financial world, and it operates in this really clear step-by-step cycle. It all starts with human effort. People work to earn an income. Then, what do? They go out and use that income to buy goods and services. Because people are out there spending money, businesses depend on those purchases to grow and expand. And finally, governments collect taxes from all of this economic activity to basically keep society running. If you take away the jobs that transform human effort into economic value, this entire cycle just collapses.
Moving on to part 2, who is actually unemployed? Let's clear up a massive misconception here.
You see, the strict official definition of unemployment actually requires 3 specific things. First, you do not currently have a job. Second, you are available to work. And third, and this is the absolute most important part, you are actively searching for work. If you aren't actively putting yourself out there and looking for a job, you are literally not counted in the main unemployment statistics.
To see how this plays out in the real world, just think about some everyday examples. A retired person living comfortably without a job, not counted as unemployed. A full-time student who's just focusing on their degree and isn't looking for a part-time gig, not unemployed. What about a stay-at-home parent who isn't seeking outside employment? Also not counted. For a lot of people, this is a real wait, really? Moment. But economists only want to count the people who actually want a job and are actively trying to get one.
So imagine splitting the entire population into 3 distinct buckets. In bucket 1, you have the employed, people who have jobs. In bucket 2, you have the unemployed, the folks actively seeking work. And in bucket 3, you have literally everyone else, and they are labeled not in the labor force. When you see that headline unemployment rate flashing on the news, it's only looking at the labor force, meaning it's only comparing bucket 1 and bucket 2. This is exactly why these statistics can sometimes be pretty misunderstood by the general public.
Okay, part 3, the 4 types of unemployment. Think of this whole system as one giant labor market matching game.
Because matching millions of workers to millions of jobs is incredibly complex, you get natural gaps. And these gaps result in 4 distinct types of unemployment. First up is frictional unemployment. This is totally temporary. Think of a recent college grad looking for their first real job, or someone moving to a new city. Next, we have structural unemployment, which is basically a skills mismatch. Imagine a factory worker whose job gets automated by a robot. The jobs are out there, but their specific skills just don't match the new roles anymore. Then there's cyclical unemployment. This is the bad one, driven by recessions and slow sales that force companies to lay people off. And finally, seasonal unemployment. This just naturally goes up and down with the time of year, like a ski resort instructor looking for a job in the middle of July. As you can see, every single type has a completely different cause.
That brings us to part 4, the true cost of joblessness and what economists call the multiplier effect.
Let's track the ripple effect of that bad kind of joblessness we just talked about, cyclical unemployment. It creates this really nasty negative loop throughout society. Step 1, workers lose their income. Step 2, well, now they have less money, so spending drops across the wider economy. Step 3, because people aren't buying things, businesses see a huge drop in their sales and revenue. And step 4, that sudden drop in revenue forces those businesses to trigger even more layoffs. It spreads like wildfire. It proves that high unemployment doesn't just hurt the person who lost their job, it eventually comes for everybody's wallet.
Which leads us perfectly into part 5, the zero unemployment myth. We are going to explore a really fascinating paradox here.
It's super common to just assume that the ultimate goal of any economy should be exactly zero unemployment, right? But can it ever actually reach zero? The surprising reality is no. Realistically, it can't. And honestly, economists don't even want it to. I know that sounds crazy, but even in the absolute strongest, healthiest economies in the world, having a little bit of that temporary, frictional unemployment is a really good thing. It shows that people have the freedom to quit bad jobs and actively seek out better opportunities.
The crucial concept here is understanding the term full employment. Full employment does not mean that literally every single person in the country has a job. It simply means that cyclical unemployment, again, the bad kind caused by economic recessions, has been completely wiped out. What is left over is just the natural, everyday transitioning of people graduating, moving, or changing careers.
And this creates a wild paradox. You can actually have an economy with millions of unemployed workers existing at the exact same time as millions of unfilled jobs. How on earth is that possible? Well, it circles right back to what we learned a minute ago. Skill gaps, geographic mismatches, and crazy experience requirements. The workers are there, and the jobs are there, but they just aren't matching up.
All right, our final section, part 6, how governments actually step in and fix this. Because those different types of unemployment have entirely different causes, policymakers need totally different real-world tools to fix them. If there's a huge skills mismatch causing structural unemployment, the government might step in and fund new education and training programs. But if a recession hits and causes cyclical unemployment, they might roll out a massive economic stimulus package to boost demand, or offer tax incentives to get businesses hiring again. Accurately diagnosing the type of unemployment is absolutely critical before you can even attempt to cure it.
And this right here is exactly why investors, businesses, and central banks watch these job numbers so obsessively. Strong employment acts like a massive green light for the economy. It signals healthy spending and robust growth on the horizon. On the flip side, weak employment is the ultimate early warning siren for economic trouble. These numbers quite literally drive financial markets all over the globe.
But hey, before we wrap up, let's bring the macroeconomics back down to earth for a second. It is so easy to get totally bogged down in the percentages and the charts, but we have to remember, behind every single one of these statistics are real individuals. People seeking opportunities to contribute, earn an honest income, and improve their lives. Unemployment isn't just a math problem. It's a fundamental human issue that dictates whether families can buy a home, put their kids through school, and live without severe financial stress.
So, I want to leave you with the thought to chew on. Now that you genuinely understand the hidden mechanics of the labor market, the multiplier effect, and all those different types of joblessness, what type of unemployment do you think is impacting your own local economy right now? Are you seeing structural shifts with AI and automation, cyclical slowdowns, or just healthy frictional movement? Take a look around. The economy isn't just in textbooks, it's happening everywhere around you. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep observing the world around you.